Hi everyone. In this video, I'd like to speak to you about what is known as a closed channel outsole versus an open channel outsole. Now, in Goodyear welted stitches, all soles of the shoe are stitched to the rest of the shoe, what is connected via the welt. But there are two ways to do this. One, what's called the open channel, where you simply take a groove on the outsole, and the purpose of the groove is simply so that the stitches are buried under the top layer of the sole, therefore it doesn't get worn out as quickly. And that is the open channel Goodyear welted, where there's simply a groove and the welt and the outsole are stitched together onto the groove itself. The second type, the more complicated and what sort of separates the good from the rest, is what's called a closed channel sole. Here we take a very thin cut onto the outsole, about 12 to 15 millimeters right from the edge of the sole to the inside, and about 1.5 millimeters thick worth of outsole. Open the channel out and then create a groove onto which the sole stitch holds the welt together. Now, this part of the channeling of the outsole is what makes it complicated and why a lot of shoe factories simply shy away from it. You will see these in most bespoke shoes and increasingly on some factory made shoes as well. So are there any advantages of having a closed channel outsole versus an open channel outsole? Yes and no. I'll leave that to your discretion, but I'll put out the facts, what makes one better or the other. With a closed channel outsole, you have the stitches itself sort of protected from the elements. But that's only for a short period of time, because as you wear the shoe, this thin channel that we took out earlier to create the groove into the stitch, that's going to start wearing out. But not to worry, because the real protection for the stitch is the fact that it's been stitched onto a groove, and this groove goes a couple of millimeters deeper. So that's one short-term benefit of having closed channel sole. The other thing is, aesthetically it looks quite beautiful. I compare this to, let's say, the back of a really nice watch. Nobody else gets to enjoy it except the wearer itself, because you can flip it to the back and see how beautiful it is. That's similar to how a closed channel outsole is, because nobody else gets to see the bottom of the shoe except the wearer himself when you're at home or you flip your shoe and take a look at it. Now, with the open channel outsole, you don't have this extra layer of protection, let's say, because we don't really slice open the outsole by a millimeter or a half. But there is no real disadvantage to it, because unlike a Blake shoe where the stitches ride all the way to the inside of the shoe, remember in a Goodyear welted shoes, these holes really take you way onto the welt itself, which is on the outside of the shoe. It really doesn't matter so much. And that's where I'd like to bust the myth around the fact that closed channel has better water resistance on the outsole. It doesn't. Both shoes will perform exactly the same in rainy conditions. So there isn't really a big advantage. But I will tell you this, some people like to see the fact that a Goodyear welted shoe is stitched through and through, and therefore when you turn the shoe on the back, they like to see this, some stitches are there and not have it covered. So it really depends on what you prefer. If you like to have a much more cleaner aesthetic at the bottom of the shoe, the closed channel is preferable for you. Otherwise, the open channel will do just fine. And now when it comes to elongating the life of your shoe and making it a bit more robust, you might want to consider putting toe taps or a rubber toppy on the top of the outsole. This will definitely help elongate the life of your shoe. Otherwise, both of them will perform just as well. While we're talking about the bottom of the sole, there are a few points I'd like to showcase to you that are telltale signs of a good quality shoe and one where time has been taken to manufacture the shoe itself. Sometimes at the bottom of the shoe, you'll see some decorative elements. This serves for two things. One, the decoration itself, but really the truth behind it is it's trying to cover up some defects that might have happened during the opening channeling process, or sometimes during the grooving process itself, because while you want to take a groove, you have another wheel that drives around the outsole of the shoe. It can create some indents on the sole. To cover that up, they would put at the end a decorative stitch and then at the bottom as well, because sometimes the coloring and the opening doesn't go all the way to the back of the shoe. And so to cover it up, you'd put this at the back. We try in our shoes not to have any decorative stitching at all, so that we can concentrate and try to keep as clean an outsole as possible. On a groove shoe, you're more likely to see these kind of decorative stitches. It simply doesn't serve any purpose but to make the bottom a little bit more decorative. Another feature you sometimes see are nails at the very tip of a sole. You will see these only in closed channel, because what it's trying to do is at the, let's say, the riskiest part of the sole where the flap could reopen, you're trying to nail it down and keep it together. One thing to bear in mind is in a Goodyear welted shoe, everything is stitched together. So wherever you're using glue, you're trying to introduce another physical aspect such as stitches or nailing in this case to keep that glue down. And that's effectively what you're trying to do with having a little bit of nailing here. Sometimes the second risky place where it can start to open out are these two edges, because this is the part of the shoe that flexes, and you'd have nails running in the two widest parts of the shoe as well. This is again simply an extra added step to give durability and ensure that the flap doesn't open out. And even if it does open out, not to worry, this is not your sole falling apart or coming off. It's simply that flap, that 1.5 millimeter flap that we took off. It could very easily be either pasted back or in some instances simply trimmed down and continue using your shoe, because they're going to be just as durable with or without that closed channel. Therefore, to sum it up, there is no advantage or disadvantage to open channel versus closed channel. It really depends on what your preferences are, because the bottom of the shoe is really something only you see much of, and therefore if you'd like to enjoy something in your own time, you'd like to have a clean profile to the outsole, go for the closed channel. If you like something that's simple, works just as well, then the open channel works perfectly well for you. The other details all add simply to the aesthetic of the shoe. Hope this helps. See you in the next one.